Hey, what's going on, YouTube? How y'all doing, man? Y'all, we finally got this special interview right here, man.
Oh, he's gonna gas me up. Here we go.
For any guys that's new to this channel, my name is Brian Arigbu, also known as House Buying Brian, on other platforms like Instagram. Um, Please, y'all, subscribe to this video. Today we're gonna be interviewing Leo. Let me tell you who Leo is. My intro to YouTube that just kind of came about a few months ago. This is the guy that made it. He made my YouTube intro. And it's so interesting how we met, man. It's so cool. But go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's going on, guys? My name is Leo, wholesaler slash investor. I guess I can say that now since I got my first deal. But yeah, a little bit about me. I started with school, went to college, went through FAMU. First, I wanted to be a doctor. I mean, what parent doesn't want their kind of son to be a doctor?
What parent, right?
I kind of wanted the juice that came along with it or whatever. But then later realized it wasn't really something I was super passionate about. And that's kind of something you had to be super passionate about. I kind of wanted the steady income to go and actually invest in real estate, which is kind of crazy. That was like a long play. And then ended up changing my mind, going to school for accounting, end up getting a good internship, a couple good offers of jobs after school. Decided not to take it because I felt like I would kind of become comfortable, maybe have some kids and get married, have some kids in that order.
It'll be a wrap.
And then I'll be chilling, you know, with good pay. It was had good benefits, and I kind of didn't want to get kind of stuck in that, so kind of threw myself into the fire. Here I am now.
Man, so where you stay at, Leo? Tell the people where you're from.
Oh, I'm from Florida. I wholesale in the Orlando area. It's my market now, so that's where I'm at.
Okay. So
if anybody's out there, you know, reach out, maybe we can do this together or something.
So you got scared, you didn't want to fall in the trap of getting married, having kids, and keeping a job for 40 years?
Yeah, all right, back now.
I said you got scared of falling in the trap of getting married, having kids, and having.
Oh yeah, man. I see it all the time. You know, dreams go to die.
Yeah.
You know, in that nice.
That's the richest place in the world, the graveyard.
Exactly.
So I think this is this is crazy. Tell people how we met, which is pretty cool.
So it's kind of crazy. I came across wholesaling through a friend, and we just started looking at videos. First, I started off with the Nicky Ruiz. I'm sure most of you guys started there, or you know, from back in the day, and came across Max, and Max was actually doing phone calls, and it wasn't steep because Max's time is, you know, pretty valuable, but I guess the mindset wasn't there to spend that amount. So then also Max was only putting out videos once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. And it just wasn't enough. I was kind of hungry for information. I wanted to learn everything about it. So I was like, oh, you know, let me look through Max's followers, or, you know, who he followed, and came across Brian. At that time, he only had like 1,000 followers, but he was posting good content. I saw he had a YouTube, and I went to his YouTube and started watching his videos and saw, wow, this guy's giving away everything, like everything.
Like, what are you doing?
Exactly. So I was like, all right, let me reach out. He wasn't really pushing a course or anything. And I felt like I could reach out and get a message back. I knew I've been on this entrepreneurial journey for a while with other things that kind of didn't pan out, at least not yet. And so I reached out to Brian, and I was like, I have to give value. I have to, you know, even if it's not monetary, I was ready to pay, but I knew I had other skills that I can kind of leverage and use for his benefit. I saw that he needed an intro. and I knew he could become big, and he's becoming big, right? And so I was like, let me help him out, so he can help others. And then reached out. He basically was like, oh yeah, anything that you want, I'm here to help. He wasn't big at that time. He wasn't famous at that time. So he had some time on it. So he had some time. And then we ended up getting on the phone, and we connected through over a lot of topics. And we only really talked about wholesaling for about a fourth of that conversation, about 30 minutes. And the conversation ended up being 2.5 hours. And it flew by like that, because we were like in the zone talking about spiritualism, the mindset of an entrepreneur, kind of our backstories and such. And then ended up becoming friends through that. So yeah, I'm sure you have other things to add, but
no, man. I mean, that's dead on, man. Because you get so many requests and like in your messages and stuff, and sometimes you want to respond to them, but how you came across was different, and it was like, he was like, "Hey, man, what are you doing? Why you don't have an intro? Why you don't have a logo? Why you not branded?" I'm like, "Oh no, I don't know how to do that stuff." He said I could do that. I'm like, "Yeah, right." I mean,
yeah.
I'm like, but if you do it, it has to be nice.
No, definitely.
I was blown away, but so what made you let's talk about this first deal. Wait, before we get across this first deal, there was a time period where you started, right? You started. Leo out of the blue one day said, I think I'm about to quit my job and try this full time.
So how that came about was...
I felt guilty because I felt like if you didn't succeed, it was my fault. I felt like I was going to have to fly you down to Texas like, hey, bro, you can sleep in our other room.
No.
Like, hey, I got a friend coming from Orlando.
Yeah, man, it was crazy. But I felt I had to. I felt I had to take that jump because I felt kind of comfortable. It wasn't a super high paying job. It was, entry level, but it paid decent for entry level. You couldn't really do anything with it. And I knew it was taking 8 to 9 hours out of my day. Sometimes it would be through the times where it would be best to cold call, through that 4:30, 6:30 range. And I felt like I was missing out. I would say it was a driving job. So I was able to kind of look around and kind of get used to the area and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool.
But I felt I needed to take the jump. It was taking a lot of my time, and every time I came home, I was tired. And it's not excuses. You can do it because Brian does it. But I felt for me, I needed to take that jump. I needed to kind of put that pressure on myself to kind of execute. I had bought some bandit sign. Was putting it out. Brian can attest to this. I was like, the bandit signs aren't working. And I remember Brian saying, it's not, you put it on, you get a call. It kind of has to simmer in the market. It kind of has to stew. People have to see. They'll take a picture, maybe call you a month later.
Yeah, multiple impressions for bandit signs. Yeah, bandit signs aren't one of those things where your phone just blows off the hook, But the leads are usually some really, really good leads. Anybody that calls a sign that says "We buy houses" usually are pretty motivated. Or
yeah. And so I was doubting,
right?
Yeah, most definitely. And I felt like I'd heard from other wholesalers that it doesn't work here. And I'm like, wow, did I really just waste money on buying signs and time on putting them out? And as we get to my first deal, I kind of explain how that went. But so I had to take that leap. I had to kind of put pressure on my pockets, and I really put pressure on my pockets. Saved up a couple. I had a couple credit cards. And I remember listening to a Wholesaling Inc.
How much pressure did you put, man? How bad did it get, man?
As bad as it could have. I got down to not even to be able to pay the minimum balances on my credit card. So that's pretty low. Like I came, like when people say God is on time, and for those out there who believe in God, the higher power out there, he is on time. And I thought, when I had $1,000 in my account that it's time, God. Or when I had $500 or when I had $100, I'm like, God, it is time.
But he knows. It's a wrap. I'm done, right?
Yeah. So I had gassed on my car, $40 in there. I'm like, this is it. Like, this is going to take me over the hump. It has to, or it's going to blow up. I don't know. I'm going to, kind of get rich or die trying. And I really felt like I was sinking about to die. And yeah, the deal closed, and we'll get to the nuances of it. But I learned a lot through the deal, and I'm grateful it took that long.
How much did you make on that first deal, Leo?
18K. So I had it in my mind that I wanted to make 20. And Wholesaling Inc., Brett Daniels kind of talked about, you have to set your price in your mind, because whatever you set in your mind is really typically how much you're going to get. So I was like, yo, $20,000 will change my life. I literally got $20,000. Yeah, no, definitely.
Start setting 50s and 60s.
Yeah, and I was like, should I set 50? Because I know, he's saying that, but I had to set something that would push me. But I still wanted to have some type of belief, and we'll kind of get to that belief thing, because that is powerful. I had to believe that I can, and I believe that $20,000 was definitely doable because I heard it over and over,
right,
on other people's podcasts and YouTube videos. So I set that in my mind. But yeah, it came down to the wire. Like I said, I didn't even have the money to pay the minimum balances on my credit cards. So it was there. God is on time, guys. God is on time. For sure.
What type of deal was that, man? How'd you get that deal?
Bandit sign. So it turned out to be a probate, right? So
it was a bandit sign that was going through probate.
It wasn't. I had to kind of set it through the probate process. They didn't even know they didn't do a probate process. They didn't even know they had to. Right. So I had to get the research together on that. I had to find them a lawyer. I had to contact the lawyer, kind of set it up, and like kind of pushed it. Huh? Yeah, it was work. It was work, but good work. And I was a little nervous talking to the lawyer. It's like, what do I say? It's like, we'll get to that.
I understand, because probably at the time you're probably thinking like, I haven't closed any deals. I definitely don't have any lawyer money. Right?
Definitely.
All type of like limiting beliefs would probably hang you up, right?
Definitely.
How many errors was in this type of transaction?
How many what?
Errors, like of the actual estate.
So initially there was 4 heirs, but it didn't have to go through that because so all right, so I'll explain it. So when the person contacted me, they had a parent who was living in the house. So them and the parent bought the house together, and they were making the mortgage payments. So the parent actually was getting sick and needed Medicare, and they would apply, but they would pull the salary. In the application, they would pull a salary from the daughter. So with her making that amount, they said her dad couldn't qualify for that. So she ended up deeding herself off the property.
Okay.
But she still made the mortgage payments. So when they sadly passed away, the mom and dad, she kept paying it. She had tenants who were living there who was family, and she thought that she had her name on title, or the mortgage, having your name on the mortgage was enough. And she didn't tell me that until I brought it to the title company, and they said, hey, this is in an estate. You can't really proceed, or this person can't really sign this contract because their name is not on the estate or whatever. It wasn't deeded to them. So I explained that to them, and a bit of me thought that the deal was dead. I'm like, is this deal dead? Like, God, why? Like, I finally got the contract. I put in the work. I kind of overcame the mental hurdles to get there. It's like, why is this now? Why is this coming up now? So then I did some research. Talked to the seller. They really wanted to move forward with it because of the strenuous situation. They were paying the mortgage and not really getting any money from the tenants. Yeah. So they wanted to go through that. So contacted my title company, built rapport with my title agent. She kind of thinks of me as her son, and she kind of, took me under her wings and taught me everything. And that is key. Build rapport with your title company. And Brian taught me that.
Deal, right?
Yes, definitely. And she pushed it over the hump. When I mean she pushed it over the hump. And Brian kind of taught me that. You'll see Brian in the title company. He'll show kind of clips. And that helped me a lot.
Charm the title ladies, man.
I'm telling you. And what's crazy is she ended up telling me her whole life story, and we stopped talking about the deal, and it was talking about her grandkids and her financial situation, how she went through how she had rentals and went through the market, and the market ended up crashing. She ended up losing a lot. Like, she got really personal, and this was on the first time meeting her, which is crazy, right? But when you're genuine and people feel like they can talk to you, they will tell you everything, and that really helped build rapport.
Good job of listening instead of talking about yourself and this deal that you're trying to close, huh?
Yeah, definitely. I learned that from Brian. So pay attention to Brian. He gives out gems, even when he says it. Like, pay attention to the fine details, because it will definitely get you over that hump. So yeah.
So man, so that's the hurdle. So let me ask you, really kind of, I mean, wrapping up, like, what is your biggest aha moments, or like after, it's crazy, like, it's great if the first deal is just slice of, an easy slice of cake, but sometimes when they eat the hardest deal is one of the first ones, you learn the most. Like, most of your education,
yeah,
you never stop learning, but you get a lot of education on that first deal. But after that first deal, what is some of your biggest aha moments that you could say Leo now knows, but Leo before didn't?
So I had a bunch of aha moments, and it was through the deal. So I wrote a couple down. That mindset shift. You got to work on your belief, right? Because your mind is either working for you or working against you. So
that's
like,
gold.
Honestly,
and it's most people really don't talk about that in real estate.
They don't. And
I feel like it's so important, because I can give you, the baddest real estate program, the baddest training, but if your program isn't right, you can't accept the training. It's like trying to put a CD-ROM into like a VCR.
Yeah. No, definitely.
So, yeah.
So I had to shift my mindset. So I know a bunch of new wholesalers and investors. They have, one, the money. It's like, I don't have the money. Two, they don't believe they have the skills. Three, which is a crazy one, they believe it's a scam, right? So you'll go on YouTube and you will find scam this, wholesale's a scam, why you won't succeed at wholesaling. And your mind has something in it called the RAS system. That's your reticular activation system. And it literally seeks to prove you right? It seeks to validate whatever you have in your mind. So
whatever you're looking for, you'll find it, right?
Yeah, no, definitely, right? So when you're searching a car, you'll see the car that you were searching or what you're researching. Start seeing that car everywhere, and that is your reticular activation system. People wonder why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Is because the rich are tuned into opportunity, right? They can see opportunity like that because their mind or their reticular activation system is geared up that way. So mine, especially as a new wholesaler, you see all this stuff. So I would constantly click on things that said why it won't succeed, why it won't work, why it's a scam, right? And what I've realized,
further strengthening that belief, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So you disqualify yourself. So when I talk about your mind working for you or against you, it's like when you want or when you need that push to get up and make that call, you're going to recall why it won't work, or you're going to recall the friend that you told that you're trying that, or your family member that you told that you're trying this new thing, them telling you, oh, it won't work. Why are you trying to scam people? But like when you change your mindset. So for me, and I tell everybody, these people need you, right? They need you, right? Because some of them sit on these properties until it goes into foreclosure. They sit on these properties for years and it is vacant, right? They don't know that they can reach out to a buyer. They don't know, they don't have the avenue to reach out to a big buyer who can buy their house cash. They don't have the money to fix it. So they can't put it on the MLS, right? So they need you. So you have to see that if I do not wake up and make this call, I have this information that I've learned, which is super important. I have this information. So me not doing that is so selfish, right? I can help these people and I'm not doing that. I'm sitting on my butt, not making these calls, right? So when you see that, hey, I have learned something that can benefit somebody. I can help them so they can buy another house. Because if you go into foreclosure, right, your credit gets messed up so bad that you cannot even apply for a mortgage for years.
They
So
won't
these
finance you a stick of gum after that, right?
exactly, right. So these people, if they go into foreclosure, they have to wait years, so they won't have a home, right? You buying their house, even at cost, without them making profit, helps them, right? And I found myself, we're so used to getting paid, right? So that $12, that $20, that $15, that $30, right? But what we don't realize, and we feel like, okay, what I'm doing is worth 15, 20, or $30. No, the business couldn't work that way. They have to make 10 times as much on you for it to make sense, right? So your time, your $15 that you make is really $150 an hour, right? You know, because that's how much
Right,
they're making on you, right? So
right.
I found myself,
Wow.
why am I making these big, who am I to make $10,000? Who am I to make 20? Who am I to make $5,000 on a deal where I pick up the phone? Your knowledge is power, right? And that's what these bigger CEOs or these entrepreneurs realize. Like, your knowledge is power. Your knowledge is worth $30,000. It is worth that person being able to go out and purchase another home, whatever may have happened if they were in divorce. My
So
knowledge is worth that.
so
You know,
basically you just put it in your mind that, hey, by me not acting, I'm being selfish and there's someone out there that needs me.
there's someone else. So I repeated that. I stopped clicking on, I just went on a rant. I stopped clicking on,
It's all good.
yeah, I stopped clicking on those videos. I tuned myself into why it is necessary. I tuned myself into why I can do it. Another thing I found myself doing is disqualifying myself. So I'll hear Max's story, I'll hear Brian's story, and
I'm not like them. I'm not like that.
I'm not like that. So, Max used to do this, so he has the voice to do
Yeah.
that, or he can go and talk to sellers, or he used to have this company, so he has this skill set.
Yeah.
No, or Brian
Was
used
a
to be a
teacher or
teacher, so
something.
he knows how to talk to people. And
Yeah.
Brian would tell you on his first deal, he told me he was stuttering. Come on, guys. He
Dude,
did a
look,
teacher.
yo, check this. The very first offer I made on the very first offer on my very first deal, right? It was a for sale by owner. Okay, I think, or I know it was for sale by owner for sure. I don't know if it was Z-Buy or Bandit sign, but it was $4,800. That was the profit. I was in my apartment and I was walking back and forth. I'm telling you, in the living room, my palms sweating because I wanted to make the offer, and I finally made
Yeah.
the offer. I said, okay, I'll give you $100,000. And I said, I'll close in 30 days. The guy said, okay, I'll take it. Dude, when I
Wow.
almost, that was the scariest part when he said, okay.
Yeah, you weren't ready. You didn't feel like you were ready.
I'm like, no, I wasn't ready. No.
And that's the crazy thing. You'll see.
I feel like I'd have been happy if he declined my offer, you know?
Yeah. No, definitely. And you'll see that, and you'll sit there and disqualify yourself. Oh, Brian has this, or Brian's buff, so they or Max has a beard, so it's like he has the juice, and it's not. We'll sit there and disqualify. I found myself doing
Dude,
that.
that's so true, man.
The
You know
dumbest
what?
thing.
Let me point out one more thing, and not to kind of cut you off, but
No, it's good. It's good. It's good.
we want them to watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
I remember one time you called me, right? And you told me, hey man, I'm watching your Instagram, and I don't know, every time I watch it, I feel like I'm not doing enough. It gives me this feeling inside, like, man, he's always on an appointment. He's always, he's always going to the title company. Man, I feel like I'm not doing enough. And I was like, man, Leo, don't feel like that, man. You remember that? I told you, man.
No, I remember that.
The reason why I told you that is because I know that feeling. I know that feeling. I know exactly how you was feeling because I used to feel the same way when I watched other people. And tell me the truth. When you put your head down and stop watching other people and you get in your zone, you don't feel that you don't get that feeling anymore, do you?
You don't. And I'll say this.
Watching someone else is one of the worst things you can do.
Exactly.
Because you just get this feeling. So the best thing to do is just get to work, get the grinding, put your head down.
It is. And I'll say this, Instagram is a double-edged sword. And I feel like there's a lot of anxiety in the world. There's a lot of people feeling worthless.
Yeah.
inadequate, because you see these highlights of people, and we have to realize, it is highlights.
Yeah.
Like Brian is not at the title company 24/7, or whoever you look up, or this person doesn't have the body of this or that. And a
People
lot
don't
of
post everything, bro.
exactly. And we're a society that kind of compares, and we don't know the whole situation, right? So if
Look,
I posted at the
look.
title company doing this work,
Let me show you this. Like, people don't post this. Look, when I tell you, look, you see what that says? Not an example. But when I give somebody multiple strategies, they chose the subject too, but they chose the rapper. Dude, people, you got to make offers. People tell me no.
Exactly.
Tell me no. Everybody, guess what? Everybody doesn't like me either.
Exactly.
Everybody likes Brian. Nah, I get no.
No, definitely. And you find yourself comparing and putting yourself down. So I don't have the skills, or I'm not there yet. Like, literally, one, talking to people is a skill you develop. Being charismatic is a skill you can develop.
Yeah.
Everything is a skill that you can be developed. Like, Brian didn't come out being so smooth, and Brian is smooth. When I tell you, I watch Brian's videos and watch his videos and pay attention to his vocal tone, right? The way he uses wordplay, and that is key, right? And kind of like rocking the seller and kind of leading them to the sale, not selling kind of hard, because that's not really how you sell.
Right.
But pay attention to the nuances, and you can learn that. And I learned it.
The details matter.
The details matter.
And that's kind of like my biggest thing, because I still work full time. I think if anything,
for now, we're working on that. I've been telling Brian
hey,
for months, but he's working on it. I'm proud of him.
Different. It really is.
Brian's married, guys, so
Yeah, I think consistency. Here's my 3 tips, and I'm gonna let you give 3 tips, to the audience. Tell them where to find you, and kind of wrap it up. So I would say consistency. Always keep your line in the water. Always keep the hook in the water. Don't keep pulling out to see if there's something on your line. Let it sit. The fish is always swimming. You need them to bite. Just keep the marketing going. Keep the marketing going. That's one thing. So consistency with marketing. Build rapport with everybody, especially the sellers. Ask more questions, more than you talk about yourself. You don't have to try to prove yourself. Ask questions. They'll like you. And try to match their energy. Try to mirror them. And number 3, hang around people that are positive, that are motivating, and also that are achieving what you want to achieve. Those are my 3 tips. What would you say, Leo, for somebody to cash a fat check like you just did?
I would say momentum is everything. And you'll hear this, and I'm going through this now. Because right now I'm trying to go the best route, or trying to leverage technology, and it I kind of stalled, and I feel like I have to restart. So I kind of hammered home. Momentum is everything. Do not give it up. Keep going. Even if it is one thing that you're going to accomplish for the day, keep that momentum going. Work on your mindset, because that will get you up in the morning. That will make you make that extra call. I would say baptize yourself, or, drown your mind in these self-help books every morning, because you have everything telling you, no, you can't do this. Or, you have that self-talk that you kind of have to kill off.
Yeah.
And I would say, build rapport, and realize everybody wants to have a good time, right? These sellers want to have a good time. They want to have a good laugh, right? They want to enjoy that time, and they're just as nervous meeting you.
Yeah.
You're a new person in their house.
They want to relieve stress.
Exactly.
Yeah. They want to calm down.
Exactly. So when you're picking up the phones, don't be scared. When you're meeting the person, don't be scared, because 1, they need your help. 2, they want to have a good time. They want to talk. They want to, they're looking for somebody to vent to. Build rapport to everybody, like Brian said, because that title agent, and I'll tell you this, in the deal, real quick, I had to deal with problem tenants. So I had to build rapport with the tenant. just to let me in, just to let me in to show it to the buyers. I had to build rapport with the tenant. I had to assure her that I had her best interest in mind. I'm talking about texts and multiple calls to the tenant, not even the seller, just to let me in. Yeah, yeah. And then on the back end, my buyer, on the back end, my buyer, he ended up JVing the deal for an extra 10 grand. Yeah. Real crazy.
All kind of moving parts.
All kinds of crazy stuff.
All kind of moving parts.
The ending buyer ended up being somebody out of state. So I had to it was crazy. And my title agent held me down because she believed in me. I was very professional, and then we had a rapport. She wanted to see me succeed. So she literally said, "Hey, this is my cell phone number. Give it to your buyer."
You need to bring up some muffins. What's your title company? What's the name of your title company?
What is it?
Yeah, what's the name of your title company?
Southern Title.
Need to take care of them.
Right.
Yeah.
So she literally called the buyer and was calling through her cell phone after hours. She was at her grandson's game.
Wow, working for you like that, right?
Huh?
Working for you like that, right?
Working for me. So I'm treating her to a spa day, because, and then the end buyer was.
Leo is. You see that? Good things are always destined to come to people.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. And a book I recommend is The Go Giver. I would say that because it gets your mindset right. I thought that you had to not take, but you had to be shrewd in business to succeed. But literally, you can be the nicest of people and make it to the top and make millions of dollars just being a nice guy. And like Brian told me, they don't want the whole industrial suited up investor. No, they want someone they can relate to, and they'll sell it to you at a cheaper and lose money because it's you, right? And the seller still calls me to the day, and she was telling me, "Hey, I'm going to Dallas." She owns a food truck. "Hey, come check me out." And we have a relationship. Wow. Yeah. And she calls me baby and love. And, so she calls me out of the blue. She texts me. I text them. Happy birthday. Yeah, man, I learned it from Brian, man. Watch his videos. You learned it from me. And pay attention. No, Brian is the king of that, man. No, bro. You pay attention to that. So, yeah, I would say that. Build rapport with everybody and be genuinely interested, and good things will happen. I'm telling you, she even cut off some costs. She made the buyer pay some cost. Wow. She worked that. Yeah. So, man,
that's an extraordinary deal, Leo, man. I'm glad you was able to come here and share your story. I'm so thankful for what you've done, you know what I mean, for me, just as far as just, being able to, talk to you and relate on, a lot of things.
Definitely.
And, the branding part, like the intro was dope. I still love it. I think it's so me, with the drummer on in the background, the outro with the Instagram and the logo and the little, yeah, man, I appreciate it. You've done a great job.
You gave me a lot of value, man. And it's invaluable because you've changed my life. And I don't say that lightly. Like, you've literally changed my life.
You changed your life, man.
Yeah, no, it's like the mindset is different. The goals are bigger. And shouts out to Brian. And Brian doesn't have to do this, guys. He doesn't have to do this. So like, share, and subscribe. He doesn't have to
like, share, and I'm sorry, you guys. I'm gonna pick it up. Y'all know I'm super active on Instagram, but I'm gonna pick it up with the YouTube. And I'm glad you guys still have been subscribing and liking and sharing the YouTube videos. I really appreciate it. Leo, where can they meet you at? Where can they find you? Like, if somebody.
So I'm not a guru.
Maybe you could talk to somebody and change their life now.
No, definitely.
Like Leo did. Leo quit his job before he even did his first deal.
Oh man! And if
maybe you can do the same for someone else. How can they reach out to you, man?
It is leo.javon. So leo.jevaugghn on Instagram, and you can find me on Facebook. Reach out. A couple of people have reached out through Instagram. I'll try to do as much as I can because I believe in paying it forward, and Brian helped me tremendously. So I'm here to give everything, right?
Hey, so don't be messing with Leo, trying to have him make YouTube intros and outros. Y'all. Leo got to close some deals, man.
Yeah, no, definitely.
He's a real estate investor now, man.
Definitely. And
man, appreciate you coming out, Leo.
Thank you for having me. No, it's a
And,
pleasure. It's a pleasure. Paying it forward, and
definitely, man. But I'm gonna holler at you, and you got to keep me posted. All right.
definitely take care, Brian. And I appreciate you. You've changed my future.
All
You've helped me along the way. Definitely.
right, Leo.
All right. Take it easy, guys.